Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cook Along Kitchen, April 2025. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. We are going to be doing a really fun take on a pasta salad. I figured with summer months coming up, the temperatures outside make us feel like they're practically here now. But with the summer months coming, pasta salad is on a lot of barbecue menus or easy home meal menus. And I wanted to find a way to make it a little bit healthier than the pasta salad that I grew up with, which contains a lot of mayonnaise, a lot of oil, a lot of higher fat. Ingredients and foods that are a part of the recipe. So I'm excited to take you on this journey today with a little bit of a different pasta salad. You may have seen something similar online. It's kind of going around right now, this sort of recipe that I'm going to use, and you can do a variety of different ingredients. And so we'll talk about the variability with this recipe too. And as always, after today's session, you will be getting a copy of the recording as well as the recipe delivered to your inbox just for registering so that you can try out this recipe on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't yet know me, my name is Shannon Parks. I'm your on-site coach under UMR, and I am a registered dietitian, and I offer these virtual cooking demonstrations once a month. Our main objective is to deliver at least 50% of plant-based meals. A lot of people want to be more plant-based but aren't sure how to get started. And so I like to show you easy, fun, and nutritious recipes that can kickstart or add to your plant-based eating journey. And this recipe is no different. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, plant-based, it's not going to have a lot of protein. This recipe packs a protein punch, and we'll talk about why. So let's go ahead and review our ingredients. I have my pasta base. I used this product today. It's called Carbe Diem, and I'm going to bring this around so you all can see this. This is a really great protein pasta. And this is the brand. Um, and so this product has 24 grams of dietary fiber per serving, which is the amount that a woman needs in an entire day. So it's incredibly high in fiber. It also has 8 grams of protein per 2-ounce serving, which is incredible too. And that's 2 ounces dry, so it's going to double in weight once it cooks. What I really like about this product is if you are in the market for protein pasta, you've probably noticed that a lot of them are made from either chickpeas, lentils, or some other kind of bean or legume. Some people, like myself, don't digest legumes very well because of the fiber in them. This product is a high protein, high fiber pasta without having any beans in it, which is awesome. So, how does it become so high protein and so high fiber? This product contains your normal flour that you're going to find durum wheat flour in any pasta, but it also contains something called vital wheat gluten. And if you are a plant-based eater, whether that be vegan, vegetarian, or somebody that just eats plant-based, sometimes you may have heard of vital wheat gluten, as it is the main ingredient in a plant-based protein called seitan. Seitan, if you want to do some more research. It has a really neutral flavor. And I boiled this pasta last night, one, because I'm in a conference room, but two, because something really cool happens with potatoes, pasta, and rice. When you cook them and then allow them to cool completely in the refrigerator, the starch molecule inside of the potato, the pasta, or the rice changes and becomes something that's called resistant starch. And so it acts more as a fiber in our body, meaning less blood sugar spikes, less likelihood to gain fat calorie or gain body fat from consuming the calories from that starch item, and it's going to help with bowel regularity. So anytime you have the ability to cook and chill your pastas, rices, or potatoes before eating them, even if you reheat them later, I always recommend to do that because of the resistant starch. So that's why I prepped my pasta last night. I also wanted it to be chilled for this recipe. So we're using Carbe Diem today. Obviously, any protein pasta will work. And I think I said 8 grams of protein per serving, which is pretty great. Now, with the pasta, In the last 30, 45 seconds of boiling, I added 1 package of sugar snap peas. I believe it was like a 12-ounce bag, maybe an 8-ounce bag, whichever you can get at the grocery store, the individual bag of sugar snap peas, and 1 cup of frozen English peas. So I just got the regular store brand here of the frozen peas. 1 cup of those go into the boiling water with the pasta for the last 30 or 45 seconds before you drain it, and just allows those to get crisp tender, as they call it. So we've got all of those prepared here in this bowl. Since I stored them in the refrigerator overnight, I also tossed them with a little bit of olive oil to prevent any sticking of my pasta. So we'll see how effective that was when I dump it from here to the bigger container in just a bit. So we have some other ingredients on the table, and those are going to help make up our sauce. So I've got basil. I have fresh organic basil here. You can purchase this, or if you've got a basil plant, just pick it right off. We're looking for about 2 packed cups. So that's about 1.5 ounces. Each of these containers is about 3/4 of an ounce. So we'll be using both of these. I also have organic baby spinach. As you all know, if you've tuned into the show before, I go organic where I can, especially with vegetables that we're eating the outside of, or anything leafy, because otherwise we're getting a lot of pesticides and all kinds of other things sprayed on the vegetables that we're eating, and simply washing them doesn't take enough of it away. So I've got some baby spinach. We'll be using organic. I also have this, which is a mellow white miso. And so miso is a soybean paste. A lot of people have heard of miso soup. If you like to dine at Asian restaurants, you often find that on the menu. This miso, I had to get at Nature's Food Patch here in downtown Clearwater. I know that they also sell it at Whole Foods and Sprouts. I could not find it at Publix or Walmart. So just keep that in mind. It's not necessary to have the miso for this recipe, but it really brings a nice umami flavor, and it gives us a little bit more protein too. So I've got the white miso here. It's just a soybean paste, like I said. Make sure you get white. It's got a more mellow flavor than the red miso. I also have Parmesan cheese. I'm going to leave this off of my recipe, but this is shaved Parmesan cheese. Typically, at the end of the recipe, we would toss about 4 ounces, so 3/4 of this container, into the pasta dish. But I do have somebody in my office that is dairy free, so we're going to keep this off so that that individual can enjoy this meal as well. But if you were at home, I'd encourage you, as long as you consume dairy, you can toss this right in there. I also have a lemon, and I have a single clove of garlic here, and of course salt and pepper to um, season it to taste. Now, I did hear some really strong positive reactions after our last cooking demonstration, that you guys really enjoyed learning about the food as medicine aspects for all of our ingredients. So we're going to be sure to go over all of that stuff today too. I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and get started. You notice I just have my food processor. Again, that's because I already boiled my pasta. Um, and so you need a stovetop to boil your pasta or cook your pasta, and then a food processor. I imagine you could also do this in like a NutriBullet if you had a big enough canister. We've got to fit 3 packed cups of spinach in. That's why I'm using my food processor. It's going to be a lot easier. But if all you have is a NutriBullet or a blender, feel free to use that. Make sure that your liquid gets down to the bottom. So I'm going to pop the top off of this, and we're going to start making our sauce together. So we're going to put both packages of basil in here. And I'm going to just take the stems off, and just put the leaves in here so that we don't get any hard bits or super fibrous parts to our sauce. The other thing I was thinking about with this recipe too is I think that it would be really nice to be able to make this recipe in advance. And so you could probably do it very similarly to how I've started it here, where I have my pasta and my peas separate, and then I make my sauce separate, and I would wait to combine it until you're ready to serve it. If you wanted to create this as a meal for, let's say, meal prep, I would just bring your pasta portion and then bring your sauce in a separate container and just mix it together at lunchtime. My concern with mixing it all together at once is, if you've ever made any sort of pasta dish, that pasta, especially if you don't chill it first, is just going to soak up all that sauce. And when you go to eat the food, you're going to find that it's probably a little drier than you would have liked. So I like to keep it separate unless I'm ready to serve. And I am going to put it all together today because I've got some people in my office that are going to enjoy this meal. Now, keep in mind also, if it is of interest to you, I do offer cooking demonstrations for work sites. Obviously, you need supervisor or manager approval for that. But I can do, something as simple as a trail mix bar or salad bar. I've done sorbet and healthy ice cream socials for people in different work groups. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I had somebody ask if today's session was only virtual, and I wish I could have you guys right here in the conference room with me. That would be so much fun. So if you want me to come to your work site, keep that in mind. It is a possibility. Okay, so we've got the basil in. We're going to put in 3 packed cups of baby spinach. Now, fun fact, I have a lot of people ask me, well, how much produce is enough produce for my daily intake? And so when we're thinking about produce, I want you guys to think about, when it comes to leafy greens, 3 cups is 1 serving. So all the spinach that I'm putting in here is 1 serving. So if you're just eating a little tiny side salad, you might not be getting the full serving of vegetables with the amount of greens in a side salad. You want something a little bit more robust, right? Um, and then all other vegetables, it's 1 cup for all your other veggies. All right, so we've got our 3 cups in here. Okay. Now we're going to add our clove of garlic. So I'm just going to lightly smash this garlic with the side of my knife and take off the skin. And then the whole garlic clove is going right in there. We're going to add the zest and the juice of 1 lemon. And so I'm going to zest it first. I've got this little microplane, however you like to zest is fine. One of the things that you want to be mindful of when you are zesting your fruit is you want to just zest off that first layer of the fruit's skin, versus getting all the way down to the white part. That's going to be a lot more bitter, and it's not going to give you the flavor profile that you're looking for. One of the other things that you might notice is the way that I'm holding my zester. This blew the minds of the people that I live with. So let me show you. I've got my zester with the blade side down, and I'm catching all the zest on the top. This is how I use it when I use this to grate like Parmesan cheese or anything too, because I can see how much I've grated on the top, and the zest isn't going all over my cook surface or my work surface. And so that is a Gordon Ramsay hack, if you'll believe it, is to zest upside down or to grate. That's the word I'm looking for, to grate things upside down. So we're going to do the whole lemon here. I've got probably about half of it done now. This would be a good job for an older child if you had a kiddo at home that wanted to get interested in the kitchen and cooking. It'd be a great job for them. Something safe and easy that allows them to feel like they're contributing. All right, we're getting there. This recipe will stay good in the refrigerator 3 to 5 days, covered, airtight. And so just keep that in mind. And like I said, if you're gonna wait to serve part of it or you're making it in advance, I would just keep your sauce separate. Again, in a sealed container, airtight. No more than 3 to 5 days in the refrigerator for food safety purposes. All right, friends, we've got I've zested all I can zest. So we've got all of our lemon zest. I'm going to add this in here. This is going to give it such a nice bright flavor. Just perfect for springtime and summer. This might even be a popular recipe before summer comes with all the fresh flavors. Okay, now I'm going to half my lemon. Now I will say, these lemons have a lot of seeds in them. So I try to get the seeds out first. Um, or you can always squeeze the lemon juice over a spoon or into a bowl first. I'm going straight in. Typically at home, I will reserve the lemon carcass and use it to clean my stainless steel appliances at home, or I'll put it in the garbage disposal to give a nice fresh smell to the garbage disposal. So we're going to do both sides of the lemon, squeeze all that juice out. Oh, I got a seed. Don't want anybody to eat the seed. There we go. Oh, oh. There we go. All right, so lemon is done. Let's add in our miso. I believe the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. So my scoop here is a 2 tablespoon scoop. Perfect. So 2 tablespoons of miso going in. I'm gonna do a couple cranks of black peppercorn. Now, I told you earlier that this recipe is incredibly versatile. You could do any green that you like. You could do kale, you could do spinach, you could do really any green that you want, any leafy green that you like in here. You could do a combination of a couple leafy greens if you wanted to. So really, really versatile recipe. I love that. You can find what suits you. All right, friends, we're gonna just do a gentle pulse here and start to combine the ingredients. Good. And before I let it run, I'm gonna pop the top off and just scrape down the sides a little bit because we want to make sure. Oh, you guys, this smells so good already, and it's not even fully incorporated. It smells so delicious and so bright. I had someone ask me this morning, is this like the Hulk pasta salad recipes I've been seeing? And I think it's pretty close. So if you've been seeing those on social media, this is a probably a pretty close replica. So I'm gonna let this go for, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 seconds. Start to really break up all those bigger pieces, combine them, make a smoother sauce. And again, we'll scrape down the sides. It smells so yummy. It's so bright, so fresh. Imagine kids would probably think this is a fun recipe too because it's green pasta. If you have any kids who're trying to sneak in some veggies, this might be the recipe for you. All right, awesome. That's looking really good. So super easy to combine all of those things, get them all melded together. And I'm gonna just scrape off anything that's collected in the top here because we want every last ounce of this good sauce that we've made. And then I'm gonna grab a test fork here so I can try it. Make sure that we don't need any more seasoning or anything before I combine it with my pasta. Let's see. That's good. That's really good. Really nice. It's got a really nice kickback from the lemon, um, and the garlic. Super yummy. Okay. So I'm gonna add about half of this pasta and peas mixture in here because the volume, I want to be able to mix my sauce well. And then we pop my sauce off. And as I do, let's talk about, as I combine this, let's talk about all of the food as medicine aspects. So the pasta, the carpe diem, one serving contains 4% of your daily value of iron, which is great. Plant-based eaters, a lot of people say, oh, they're not getting enough iron because they're not getting meat. A lot of plant-based foods contain iron, and there's no difference in that with this carpe diem pasta. Also, The vital wheat gluten, like I was saying, provides some protein. It also provides that iron content and it provides selenium, which is a nutrient really important for thyroid health and thyroid function. And that pasta is 0% cholesterol as well, which is great. That's one of the benefits of plant-based eating, a very, very low cholesterol diet. The peas, so interestingly, peas are technically legumes, which means that they're a starchy vegetable alongside things like lentils, soybeans, chickpeas, and other beans. And peas contain carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin, which are both important for helping our eyesight. And what's really cool is those two antioxidants, they are natural blue light glasses for our eyes. So those two antioxidants help naturally filter out the blue light from our computers and phones and other technological devices. So lots of peas for your eyesight, right? They say carrots are good for your eyesight, but peas are good for your eyesight too. Peas are also really high in fiber, which is going to help blood sugar stability, improving cholesterol, and improving your bowel health. They're rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc, and they offer anti-inflammatory nutrients to protect against inflammatory diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and arthritis, which is really cool. So peas have a host of benefits to them. Let's talk about the spinach. So spinach is actually a high protein leafy vegetable. Now, high protein compared to other leafy vegetables, not compared to like a steak, of course, but they are a high protein leafy vegetable, which is great. They also offer over 400% of the daily value of vitamin K, which is imperative for blood clotting. And so making sure that we have good vitamin K in our diet is really important. Anybody who's on an anticoagulant like warfarin, you want to be careful about your vitamin K intake. So we can talk about that separately or offline, but vitamin K is really high in spinach and other leafy greens. Spinach also offers over 50% of your daily value for vitamin A and folate. Vitamin A helps with night vision, and folate helps protect against neural tube defects in pregnancy. So, really, really important nutrients as well. They're rich in manganese, vitamin C, and magnesium. They offer 15% of the daily value for iron, which is awesome. So, this meal is becoming more and more iron rich with each and every ingredient that we've added. They also contain beta carotene and more lutein, which helps with the eyesight and reducing free radical or cellular damage within the body, which is incredible. Helps with potassium for blood pressure, and it also has magnesium and folate, and of course, more fiber. Let me come around and show you guys what we've got cooking in our dish here. This is what our finished product looks like. You can see just how beautiful and green that is, right? Doesn't that look so yummy and so herbaceous?
Yeah.
And now if, what's that?
I said that looks amazing.
Oh, good. Yay. I'm glad. I can't wait for you to try it. If you were dairy, if you're a dairy containing or consuming person, you would just add your Parmesan cheese in now. And then if you wanted it less citrusy, because it is a little bit citrusy, if you wanted it less citrusy, you could probably cut back the lemon juice by maybe half and then add it in from there and see how you like it. But that's gonna be our dish for today. Let me review the last couple ingredients with you. Basil, full of antioxidants, eugenol, anthocyanins, and beta carotene. Those all help reduce the cellular damage, can help reduce blood pressure, cholesterol, and triglycerides. Also helps reduce inflammation in the body. Basil is full of calcium, vitamin A, vitamin K, manganese, magnesium, iron, zinc, and potassium, like just from a little basil leaf. Isn't that amazing? Food is incredible, you guys. I chose avocado oil because this is, and I don't even think I added this in like I should have, did I? Nope, I didn't. I didn't add avocado oil in. So if you don't want to add oil in, you don't have to. You're supposed to add a half cup. I totally missed that step and it still came out great. So if you wanted to use this, you could. I like avocado oil because it is a non-inflammatory and neutral oil with a high smoke point, meaning it's not going to add any flavor to our dish, which is great when we're adding it into something like a sauce or a soup or a dish. And it's not going to smoke if you cook with it like olive oil does. So I love this stuff, avocado oil, anti-inflammatory oil. White miso, this stuff Helps with immune support. It's really high in vitamin E, which is going to help out our eyes and our brain health and our joint health. Also helps with anxiety and depression. Vitamin E does, and helps clear out cellular damage due to the antioxidant properties of vitamin E. Has lots of B vitamins, calcium, iron, magnesium, selenium, phosphorus, choline. I mean, you guys, you name it. This stuff is magic. Soybeans are incredible, incredible, and lots of plant-based protein. Let's see, this is 2 grams of protein for 2 teaspoons. So that's quite a bit when we're talking about just 2 teaspoons, right? Garlic that we used, we talked about this last month, allium family, my favorite family of vegetables, helps with immune support, helps with anti-inflammatory, and then lemon. Tons of vitamin C from the citrus supports the immune system, also helps with skin health. Potassium is going to help bring that blood pressure down. Vitamin B6, that is imperative for helping metabolize our food and making our food usable as energy. It also has plant compounds that help and have positive effects on cancer, cardiovascular disease, and inflammation. This stuff is awesome. So, you guys, this is another month. I was going to come back around, but this is another month of Cook Along Kitchen where we're just demonstrating how easy it is to put together a tasty, visually appealing, and nutrient packed meal in less than a half hour? That's incredible. Please try this recipe out, tweak it, find a way to make it your own. Let me know how it goes, and I will see you again next month with another episode of Cook Along Kitchen.